A pleasant afternoon to everyone. We would first like to thank you all for joining us in this forum as we are excited for you to learn about managing and mitigating the adverse effects of cats and cat colonies on wildlife, more specifically in the university campus setting.
Our theme today is all about exploring unique and practical solutions for creating inclusive urban spaces that consider both human needs and those of stray animals. It's a topic that resonates with everyone who cares about our communities, environment, and of course, our animal friends. My name is Keisha Mina.
And I am Lian Tongkab, and we are your hosts for this policy forum entitled Perspective, Collaborative Integration, and Coexistence of Urban Stakeholders and Stray Animals.
We have an exciting lineup of speakers today who'll be sharing insights and inspiring us with relevant ideas later. But before we dive in, we have a few house rules to ensure a smooth and productive session with everyone.
For our house rules, the first one is be respectful. Let's make this space open where everyone can express their thoughts and opinions. Second, stay on mute. Please keep your microphone on mute unless it's your turn to speak. Third, reserve your questions for the open forum. Please save your questions for the open forum at the end of the session. And last, stay on topic. Please keep your questions and comments relevant to our session to ensure a valuable discussion for everyone.
All right, to kick things off, let's have some eye opening facts about the strays in the Philippines, just to emphasize how valuable today's discussion are on effective and proper management of strays. Let's start with a shocker. The Philippine Animal Welfare Society, or PAWS, reported that as of July 2024, there are around 12 million stray dogs and cats in the Philippines. Imagine 12 million strays. That's a massive number, and it can grow quickly if left unchecked. Given this fact, let's get a quick feel of the room. We're going to poll everybody to know how often you see strays in your neighborhood. Please send your answers in the chat box according to what you observe within your area. Here are the options. Send 1 if you rarely see strays. It could be once a month. Send 2 if you sometimes see strays. This could be a few times a week. Or 3 if you see strays almost every day.
We'll give you a few minutes to answer. When everyone's done, we'll share the results with you. Okay. Thank you for participating in the poll. For those who haven't answered yet, you can also leave your comments in the chat box. So let's take a look at the results. It seems like most of you answered 3, followed by 2. This gives us a better understanding of how visible strays are in your neighborhoods.
That's really insightful. Personally, in my area, I also believe I'll answer 3 because I always see strays almost every day. It's bittersweet. It's a bittersweet sight seeing how resilient these animals, but also realizing how much they need our help.
Definitely. This shows that stray animals are a common experience for many of us, which highlights the importance of community based solutions like what we are discussing today. If we all work together, we can make their lives better and ensure harmony in our shared spaces.
Thank you again for sharing your observations. Let's keep this in mind as we dive deeper into our discussion on integrating strays into our urban environments.
Moving on to our next fact, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals or PETA has raised a serious concerns and emphasized that stray homelessness has actually reached a crisis point in the Philippines. Many strays are struggling to survive, find food, and most likely resort to finding shelter in the streets or get taken in by household if they are lucky. But here's a difficult reality. There are not enough shelters, nor do they have enough resources to sustain the strays. Many of the animals that end up in shelters sadly don't make it out or they are most likely euthanized.
And when it comes to unwanted pets, people often handle it in ways that make the problem worse. For example, many people drop their pets off at organizations or shelters that are already struggling with limited resources such as space and food. There are also many cases of owners giving pets away to people who may not have the capability to take care of them properly. And there's also the practice of pagligaw, where pets are abandoned in far off places so that they cannot find their way back home.
That's right. But wait, we haven't talked about the impact of feral cats on wildlife yet. Let's dive into the next with some interesting facts. Did you know that a group of UP Los Baños researchers conducted a study situated in Mount Makiling Reserve, and through the use of tracking devices, they found that both feral or domestic cats contribute to the predation of native species? This emphasizes that cats can significantly harm the local fauna, especially vulnerable ones.
More on this. Did you know that globally, International Union of Conservation of Nature or the IUCN classified domestic and feral cats as an invasive species? You might be wondering, how so? Well, it has been shown that they can disrupt the natural food chain and cause a decline in biodiversity, especially in environments they weren't originally a part of.
So before anything else, we would like to acknowledge the UPTEP Cultural Committee for collaborating with us in presenting this forum entitled Bangkulala Science and Technology Policy Forum. Without further ado, let's hear it from Mr. Remy De Leon, the one who provided us with insights and dedication which have significantly contributed to the success of this forum. Sir Remy, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. I'm glad that everyone has managed to make it to the forum given the weather that we've been having lately. I'm glad everyone of us is safe. All of the stakeholders that we have for this particular forum are safe, both human and feline, and I suppose canine also, and I suppose also our wildlife. Um, yeah. Obviously, um, this is a topic that's very close to my heart, as I do, in fact, keep five of these wonderful creatures uh, around me at all times. Myself, um, they're actually a little irritated because I moved their snack bottle a little, and then they both now think that I'm going to have food. But hello here from Pippin and Mary and Smeagol and Madison and Murray, which are our home cats. And of course, I'm also saying hello as the chair of the UPDEP Cultural Committee, and at the same time, chair of the Committee on Animals on Campus, which is newly formed and which hasn't actually done anything yet. This is really the first time that we're doing anything with that group. And we're looking forward to maybe some answers about exactly what to do with the cat population, the cat clouder that we have in UPDEP, and how to best, take care of them and make sure that at the same time that we're taking care of them, we're also taking care of the wildlife that we have on the campus, and also making sure that the mix of concerns of all the stakeholders are well taken care of. Um, we would like to. I'm also very glad to welcome the intention was not for this to be a UPLB reunion, but I notice again, well, it's turning out to be a sort of UPLB reunion. We thank you for joining us, Professor Francis Aguilar, who is actually much younger than me. So hindi kami nag-abot sa UPLB. I left in '06, so matagal before Prof. Aguilar showed up. And of course, Doc Awas, Doc Alvin is well, but let's not talk about age, I suppose. Although he was my roommate while we were in college. It's nice to be able to be surrounded by people who grew up in the same environment, and to be able to draw lessons from the UPLB experience also, and adapt it to the UPDEP situation. We do wish we had found other perspectives from other campuses, but at least si Doc Alvin is from Cavite State University, and we're very excited also to hear about what they might have there and what their insights might be. Um, I could keep talking about cats for a very long time, so I'm going to cut this short, and I'm just going to welcome you everyone today and thank you for joining us. And I'm really looking forward to a productive afternoon of talking about cats. Thanks, and let's see what the forum has for us.
Thank you so much, Mr. Remy De Leon, for the inspiring opening remarks. Your words are sure to set the stage for this forum. We appreciate the energy and thoughtfulness you have brought into the conversation. Seeing your great passion in taking a step forward for this dilemma serves as a great inspiration to all of us to take that step as well. Let's give him a round of virtual applause, everybody.
Okay. So, before we move on, the perspective team would like everyone to remain attentive, engaged, and open to keep the forum productive. You may scan the QR code on the screen or go to slido.com and enter the code 2706654. If you have any questions for the speakers, with that being said, we will not keep you waiting anymore as we will now be introducing our esteemed and expert speakers for this event.
It is our great pleasure to introduce Mr. Francis Aguilar. He is an assistant professor at the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, and the organization advisors of CATS of UPLB, where he dedicates his efforts and time to foster a harmonious coexistence between humans and animals on campus. He has been involved in initiatives that promote the welfare of stray animals. His work reflects a deep passion for creating compassionate and sustainable solutions to animal related concerns in both urban and academic settings. He will be discussing the impact of stray animals on human stakeholders in a campus setting and some conflicts. We will now give the floor for him to enlighten us given the pressing matter.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you see my slides?
Yes, sir, you're also audible.
Ah, Okay. Good afternoon sa lahat. And I'm Francis A. Aguilar, member and advisor of CATS of UPLB. First, we would like to thank you for this venue to talk about what we know and what we learned in our 4 years of volunteering for community animals. So thank you for this perspective forum. So I'm here to discuss to you the Cats of UPLB way. So this is the outline of the presentation. So this presentation is not mine. This is the effort of many hands. And katulad nung feeding namin sa campus, hindi lang naman feeder, hindi lang effort ng feeder yung pag-feed, yung pagpapakain sa mga aso't pusa eh. Effort yan from the community to our publicity committee to the various fundraising activities to our student committee. Parang it's like I liken it to a baton race. Siyempre yung finish line would be the cat fed. So yun yung finish line, and it's concluded by the feeder. But it's because of many hands, and so is this presentation. So this presentation is divided in 4 parts. So umpisa, sino kami, ano yung ginagawa namin, ano yung alam namin, and what we also learned in our 4 years of volunteering. So umpisa, siyempre, Cats of UPLB. Ano ba yung Cats of UPLB? So at bakit cats lang, ano? Hindi lang naman pusa. Actually, we're also feeding dogs. And Cats of UPLB actually stands for Compassion for Animals through Service of UPLB Students. Oo nga, bakit ba cats and dogs? Yun yung ano yun yung tanong na gustong-gusto kong sagutin, and I teach evolution, more of plants, because I'm a botany professor. Pero tingin ko, because to answer why cats and dogs, not only cats and dogs, but why cats and dogs? Why we're choosing, or why we're maybe prioritizing cats and dogs? It's because siguro throughout evolution naman, we've already tested, or we've been trying to be, or we've been befriending other organisms, other creatures. But siguro cats and dogs, if I may guess, cats and dogs were the ones who stayed, who chose to be with us. Siguro may mga tinry din tayong ibang mga animals, pero cats and dogs uniquely stayed and partnered with us, uh, and became in a way useful to us sa mga pests, toward strangers, toward enemies, hindi ba? And for an organism uniquely capable of worrying and regret, parang ang laking bagay na meron kang kasama. Not to say that we don't care about other organisms, because ano it's not only cats and dogs, but there's something in another organism choosing to be with another organism. Kaya domesticated sila eh. So we're Compassion for Animals to Service of UPLB students. So we are an organized group of students, alumni, and employees who believe that UPLB honed us to be proactive and humane problem solvers backed by science. So we are a team of responsible pet owners and proactive humans who believe that caring for the campus animals is caring for the community, because we've been caring for these animals for since time immemorial. So since even in prehistory. So we are actually grandchildren of those who cared for animals, and naturally there is an anxiety when we see strays, when we see sickly animals. So we want to eliminate that. We want to eliminate strays, yung mga nagkalat na mga kuting. Magulat ka na lang merong injured na pusa kasi binasa ng mainit na tubig, o kung anumang aksidente, dumadami yung mga pusang may sakit. There is an anxiety in that eh. And we want to eliminate that. We want to reduce that. We want to constrain that. And the reverse is, there is a joy when we see animals who are thriving. 'Di ba? Ano lang eh. Just you see a cat sa campus rolling, o just loitering, o tumabi lang sa'yo, not because it's hungry, pero dahil gusto niya lang. It's rest eh. 'Di ba? It's rest. So if there's an anxiety, then addressing that would be caring as well, caring for the community. So caring for the animals is caring for the community, kasi you eliminate that suffering. And it's not, the continuum is 'di ba, hanggang sa positive, and you add joy. So that is also a service to the community, and that is by caring for community animals. And caring for the community animals, to 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 clarify, cannot be it cannot be done by a 30-person organization. The caring for the animals is done by the community. So we are just you could say, the medium in doing that. So community ang nag-aalaga sa mga hayop, sa mga community animals ng UPLB. Yung Cats of UPLB, sila yung mediator. Kasi kung walang mediator, what you will see are diffused effort, 'di ba? Marami sa atin, nagpapakain na ako, kaya lang kapag nagfi-feed kami, may mga nagsasabi na nagpapakain na sila noon, way before us. Pero ang dumami na kasi sila, o wala na akong budget. Kasi ano, it has to be done by the community. Cannot be done by one person, by a 30-person organization, let alone one person. So caring for the community animals is caring for the community, done by the community. So we recognize the importance of science and research in laying out solutions for long-standing stray problem in the community. So what we are not a shelter. We have no infrastructure for that, and we are not a pound. So we will be defining that later, hopefully. We are not a rescue organization, and we are not veterinarians. Although we consult veterinarians, and especially for our animals that need medical attention. So our goal, so ipapabasa ko na lang sa inyo. So our goal is to face the problem. Next. So to face the problem, knowing that a community can be harnessed. So it will be hard, but a community can be harnessed for the caring of these animals. So the community is an untapped resource that can be harnessed. So our milestones, nung nag-umpisa ang Cats of UPLB with 2 mama cats. So isang estudyante, concerned, pandemic noon. So July 2020, but she was very concerned of these 2 mama cats na kaanak lang ng and siyempre manganganak ulit, and that started Cats of UPLB, So a person not thinking of herself, but thinking of another organism in the time of the pandemic. So August 2020, nagkaroon kami ng feeding, so ng iba pang mga pusa sa campus na nangangailangan ng tulong. Nung May 9, siyempre we're an organization that has a daily things to do. So iba sa mga sa ibang student organization. So it's only natural that we address the lack of members. So we need members, and students would be the perfect members, because students, so we have this advocacy, and students will be coming in, and students will go. So students will be going to their, siyempre pag graduate nila, students will be would be graduating and going to places, hopefully as responsible pet owners, and maybe people that can start another organization like Cats of UPLB. So no, April 2023, it's a milestone for us, because the OVCCA invited us to talk and help in composing the rules and regulations for responsible pet ownership for inside the UPLB campus. And that also led to various talks and various forums on the care of community animals. So ngayon, 4 na taon na kami. So we're already 4 years old. Then siyempre tumatanda na rin yung mga yung mga hayop na inaalagaan namin. So syempre yung next would be to maintain them. So because we're keeping them, because we go by the method of TNVR. So which I will elaborate to you later. So what we do, hindi lang kami nag-feed. We also record and monitor campus census, animal census, provide campus animal needs. Siyempre dun sa mga nagkakasakit at medyo senior cats na, fosterers and leading them to fosterers and forever homes. And we also disseminate IECs and siyempre all within the umbrella of community animal care by TNVR. Okay, so specifically we record and monitor campus animal census. Ay makikita niyo yung mga information na kinukuha namin from the animals. So this is an Excel sheet of the daily information that we take from the various stations that we feed around UPLB. So nagsimula ang cats of UPLB with 256 cats. Yung kalahati nun, halos kalahati nun napa-adapt na namin. Yung iba nawala, yung iba kasi syempre outdoor sila no. Yung iba namatay, yung iba ay nasa foster dahil senior or may sakit sila ngayon. And we're feeding 20% of them. So we're feeding 20% of them, so that would be 50 plus. They are our active cat responsibilities. So 49 dogs pala, 256 cats and 49, I think it's 49 dogs. Nagsimula kami doon So saan ba nanggagaling yung mga pusang mga pusa sa UPLB? Yung iba nasa UPLB na when we started. Yung iba magugulat ka na lang, may pusang lumitaw adult cat na nag-migrate from the vicinity. Kasi ang daming mga bahayan sa paligid ng UPLB Yung iba dump. Paano namin nalalamang dump? Kasi magugulat ka na lang, may kuting dun sa area wala namang buntis. Wala namang buntis na pusa doon kasi karamihan nakapuna namin. Actually, the 52 that we have active are 100% kapon. So proud na proud kami doon And ayan, ito naman yung census ng aming mga aso. Ayan. 42 are active. Yung iba napa-adapt na namin. Yung iba nawala at yung iba ay punganaw na. So ito, nature of presence. Siyempre mayroong mga first generation, may mga second generation din. Ayan. May mga second generation, mga hindi namin napakapun kagad kasi we're just utilizing siyempre donations and yung mga kapon drives ng mga organization, yung mga free kapon drives. So, yung iba hindi namin napapakapun kaagad, siyempre nanganganak sila, nagkakaroon ng second generation animals. Pero ngayon, 81% kapon na kami, 19% na lang ang intact. So, work in progress ito pero masaya kami. Okay, so we also provide not just food but other needs for the animals. This is an excerpt of our feeding report sa GC namin. So, ayan, araw-araw titingnan namin kung present ba sila, kung ano yung status nila, kung may concerning ba, may collar ba sila ngayon. Ngayon meron bang may tubigan ba sila? Meron ba silang water container and is it a proper water container? Ayan, and we also take a lot of pictures. Dahil sila they're instagrammable pero siyempre kasama rin yun sa pag-check dun sa overall condition nila. And not only the basic needs but also medical needs. Ayan, may mga pusa kami na siyempre mga senior cats na, meron kaming pusa dito, makikita nyo ito si Charito. Ayan, makikita nyo kung gaano siya kamahal ng UPLB community dito sa mga messages na ito sa kanya. Ito yun nung nagkaroon siya ng kidney problem. Hindi na siya kumakain, hindi na siya makita sa census, sa daily census namin. This one is Rose. So meron siyang communicable cancer of the genitalia. Pero ngayon ay okay na siya. So up for adoption na siya. At ito yung isang dormer cat namin si Bonbon na ano na, naka-urinary diet na kasi may kidney problem din siya. Okay, so and we also do vaccinations. Kasi sa TNVR, ito atat na akong i-explain eh. Kasi sa TNVR, we trap, we neuter, we vaccinate because we want to release them healthy. So we have to vaccinate and deworm them. Okay, so kapag nagkakasakit, syempre, dinadala din namin sila sa sa fosterers na mga pwede mag-alaga sa kanila temporarily. O kung talagang permanent na at mahirap na silang ibalik sa campus, we try to route them to give them forever homes. So, ayan. Isa rin sa mga ginagawa namin is we do information dissemination, mainly on the merits of TNVR and syempre on the rules of UPLB on responsible pet ownership. Ayan. So, eto we go by this action. Admire from a meter. So we go by this rule pala, this rule. So admire from a meter. So napaka daling tandaan, AFAM. So huwag hahawakan ng mga pusa para din sa kabutihan ninyo kasi para hindi kayo makalmot. Although they are all vaccinated. So ayan, we also do so we are also involved in UP system-wide forum on responsible pet ownership. So ito yung isa sa mga venue na pinuntahan namin. And we're also active on social media. And ito yung isa sa mga graphic na na pinroduce ng org. Kasi may nagdump na naman ng pusa. Ayan, ang hayop na tinapon mo ay pinatay mo na rin, iba lang ang naglibing. So, totoo. So now, key concepts in animal welfare. So, let's differentiate pets, strays, and ferals. So all of them are domesticated animals. So in a way, they are dependent on us. So they are already part of human settlement, as one professor mentioned. So yung iba dito socialized, yung mga pets at strays. Pero meron kang yung mga naghihis at tumatawag sa'yo, tingnan mo lang. So sila yung mga unsocialized ferals. Yung iba owned, syempre yung mga pets natin sa bahay. Yung iba unowned, yung mga strays and ferals. Ayan. Yung iba indoors, yung mga pets natin. At yung iba outdoors. So exposed to the elements. Ang pets, alam ko ang dogs 15 years old umaabot, pero kapag strays at ferals, it's around 5 years old lang kasi syempre exposed sila sa elements but if we have the grace to care for them, they can be controlled and they can thrive and they can be your rest if you treat them as community animals. Okay, so ito yung atat na akong i-discuss yung TNVR. Ayan, so trap, neuter, vaccinate, and return. So we trap and we neuter, syempre para i-control yung population. But ito yung kailangang ito yung kaiba. Siguro a few years ago kasi hindi naman ako animal lover noon. Ang kaiba sa akin ito vaccinate and return. So after in-neuter, you vaccinate because you want to keep them healthy so you can return them and feed them and they can stay. So bakit kailangan why do they need to stay in an area? Because an area, UPLB, So sa setup namin, UPLB has an innate imbak, an is an innate depository of resource, parang gano'n. So, it has a holding capacity. It has, siyempre may food, mga tira-tira. So that would be another problem in terms of waste management. Pero may resource. Space itself is resource eh. So every community has a food source that can attract strays. So ibig sabihin kapag nag-alis ka diyan, kapag nag-alis ka ng nag-alis ka ng animal diyan sa area mo, dahil may resource, magre-rebound lang din yung cat population or dog population doon sa area dahil merong vacuum that that animal left that will be filled by, unfortunately, an intact or an animal that can reproduce. So the solution would be to spay spay and neuter animals and keep them. So for animal control, to keep them there. So that you spay them, they will be your security guard doon sa area. Lalo na ang pusa, they're territorial. So if you keep food at controlled yung amount, they will guard their territory. Kasi controlled yung amount ng resources eh, no? Ayaw magdagdag ng cat population eh. Tataboy niya yung upcoming stray. So you will control the cat population, but in turn, you will feed your security guard. So you have to maintain them. So that would be the humane way of controlling animal population. So ayan, TNBR is to build. So step 1 is to build your community and partner with authorities, ration scheduled meal, and keep a census of the animal and monitor their health. So ayan, so bakit hindi pwedeng i-wipe out lang? Bakit hindi pwedeng alisin lang yung mga strays from one area? Ayan, so this would be answering that. So kasi may vacuum effect. So moving on, what would be our best practices, the practices that we can share to you? So anonymity is for your safety. Siguro yung mga ano na lang ito. So this would be some of the tidbits of what we've learned as volunteers, as members of Cats of UPLB. Kasi minsan kapag alam na taga Cats of UPLB ka, magugulat ka na lang may kuting dun sa harap ng apartment mo. And number 2 would be practice what you preach. Siyempre, kailangan ganito, nung nag-keep na kami, nagkaroon na kami ng pets, ng pets sa household. And we volunteered, eventually we volunteered, me and my partner volunteered for Cats of UPLB. Nagkaroon kami ng mga cats sa labas ng bahay, outdoors. So hindi na namin kayang i-accommodate. So ang dami na namin pusa eh. So we started having community animals in our place, Kasi oo nga, So nagpapakain ka ng community animals, might as well establish your own community animals or keep community animals in your place din, Because that way you can expand your capacity to help. Kasi if you have community animals, that would be a middle ground between having pets and not having pets. Ganyan. That would be that middle ground. And that middle ground could accommodate more cats So you can help more cats. You can spay and neuter more cats. So that would be, if every household will do that, ang laking bawas nun. It could solve our stray problems kung bawat isa would extend their help to have community animals. And that is what we are doing at UPLB. So we're expanding our ability to help by creating that middle ground, and that is to care for community animals. So document everything, katulad ng sinabi ko, kasi you have just a short window, yung feeding time lang yung window mo to monitor the cat. Kasi mamaya, ano na yan, kakaripas na yan kasi tapos na siyang kumain, So document everything, kaya picture kami ng picture, and partner with others because you cannot do it alone. So the only the community can care for the community animals. So it cannot be done by a 30-person org. So the community has to be harnessed. So you have to partner with others. So ayan, ito yung mga dispelled myths. Dumarami ang pusa kasi pinapakain. Dumarami ang pusa kasi natural, nagpaparami talaga sila. Ipa-adapt para maubos. May vacuum effect hindi ba? Kasi may resource ka may mga pispis ka sa paligid So babalik at babalik din yung mga pusa, at yung mga pusang yon hindi nakapon. So lagot ka. I-impound para maubos. The LGU cannot do it alone. O they can't do it alone. Yun. It needs the community's help. So this is a community effort. So hindi kaya ng pound yan, hindi kaya ng shelter yan. So pounds versus shelter. Naku, humahaba na, pasensya na. Pero pounds are, mabilis lang, definition would be, pounds are the people-centered institutions, and you have your shelters as the animal-centered institutions, and you have your goals tabulated here. So they are funded by the government and private institutions, and ayan, they have different goals and different ways of achieving that goal. So bakit kailangan ng pet ownership? So nabanggit na yun earlier. Sa introduction to this forum. So ayan, napakaraming stray cats and dogs. So ayan. Napakarami. We cannot save them all. We cannot have them as pets. Ano pa lang sa mga estudyante, hindi ba? Sa dorm, bawal yung pa lang, that basic rule, bawal ang aso at pusa sa dorm. So you can't, if, however deep your passion for cats and dogs, hindi pwedeng mag-alaga. But yan nga, we have that middle ground. You can still care for strays and ferals. So if you treat them as community animals. So even if these animals cannot have a place in our home, you can extend your hand. They still deserve to be part of our community. So yan, community animal care is the peaceful coexistence of humans and animals, and the recognition that both are rightful of the environment that they live in. And each has a role to play to keep the balance in the ecosystem. So ito yung iba't ibang okay. So these are the literatures on the topic of responsible these are the organizations that are with us in caring for community animals. Ayan. So tatapusin ko na, napahaba na ako, I'm very sorry. But our rallying call, may we love beyond breed, age, sex, and disability. So thank you, and we hope we can reach you all and show you how to extend your hands at UP Pampanga for these community animals. Thank you.
What a great, what a great talk, Sir Aguilar. Let us give Mr. Francis Aguilar a virtual and warm round of applause. Thank you so much, Mr. Aguilar, for sharing that comprehensive discussion. We are indebted for the opportunity to have you as our esteemed speaker on the management of stray animals. But please stay tuned for our open forum later on, wherein you will be able to answer the audience's queries and questions prepared for you.
For now, we would like to recognize and award Mr. Aguilar for his knowledge and advocacy on the topic, but more importantly, his time and contribution for this forum. Your contribution has made a significant impact, and we deeply appreciate your willingness to share your knowledge and experience with us. Mr. Francis Aguilar, on behalf of the Perspective team, we are grateful for your time and effort. Please allow me to read the certificate. This certificate is proudly presented to Mr. Francis A. Aguilar in recognition of his outstanding contribution as a guest speaker at Perspective, Collaborative Integration and Coexistence of Urban Stakeholders and Stray Animals on November 18th, 2024. His insights and expertise have greatly enriched the event and inspired the participants. The organizers, STS1 Section THX, UP Diliman Extension Program in Pampanga, and the UP Diliman Extension Program in Pampanga Culture Committee express their heartfelt gratitude for this time and dedication to the success of this forum.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Before,
Prof.
Thank you.
thank you po. Before we proceed, we'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the UP DEP Student Council for their support towards ensuring a safer and more inclusive campus for all, both students and our furry friends. Given that we have seen how strays can interact with us human stakeholders, we will now get a glimpse into how strays can impact the ecological balance and wildlife in this following juncture. Let us welcome Dr. Alvin Alvarez, an associate professor at the Cavite State University's College of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences. With nearly 20 years of dedication to teaching and advancing animal care, Dr. Alvarez has made significant contributions in the field.
With his experience as the Philippine key driver for World Animal Protection, Dr. Alvarez remains actively involved in animal welfare. He is currently collaborating on the Cage-Free Hen program with the Animal Kingdom Foundation.
Dr. Alvarez holds a Doctor of Veterinary Medicine and a Master of Science in Animal Science from the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, where he specialized in animal physiology. He is also a UP Fogarty Bioethics Scholar and has completed additional training in animal welfare assessment at Michigan State University.
Beyond his academic and professional achievements, Dr. Alvarez is a strong advocate for the integration of technology in education, viewing it as an essential tool for learning and development.
Please join us in welcoming our distinguished speaker, Dr. Alvin Alvarez.
Dr. Alvarez, we are honored to have you with us today. The floor is yours.
Good
Hi
morning.
everyone, magandang hapon.
Good afternoon pala. Ayun, konting intro lang. I made a lecture video just in case na hindi ako makabalik kasi I went to my brother-in-law's wedding kanina. Yun yung trip ko actually. So, fortunately nakarating naman ako. Yung latter part, hindi ko talaga natapos. I apologize. Sabi ko lang technical glitch. Pero hindi ko siya natapos. Tapos ko lang yung audio. So, para lang medyo kakaiba siguro. Listening exercise yung latter part. Anyway, may time pa naman tayo tawag dito. Pwede pa naman natin siya pag-usapan after. So, please play na lang yung video.
I hope you are all doing well. Thank you for inviting me to share my thoughts about the problem of stray dogs and cats on university campuses. We've gained great insights from our previous speaker's talk, and I hope this will also add something to that collection. First, let's talk about the problems caused by stray animals on university campuses. Una, strays can sometimes become aggressive, posing safety risks to students and faculty. They may also cause accidents, especially at night when visibility is low. Second, strays pose significant public health risks. They can carry diseases like rabies, toxoplasmosis, parasites, and others, and their waste creates sanitation issues. Plus, nagkakalat din sila ng basura. Third, the economic impacts of these problems are significant. Also, there is the burden of managing strays, whether we choose to actually manage them or not. Feeding programs, medical care, and repairing damaged property all can strain university resources. Lastly, there's the impact on campus wildlife. Predatory behavior, especially by stray cats, can disrupt ecosystems by hunting birds and small mammals. This competition for resources further stresses native species. Kung iisipin natin, all these problems are linked with each other, making it challenging to solve and address them. On the other hand, it is also important to examine the causes of the stray animal problem. Two of the primary factors are neglect and abandonment. Many stray animals come from residents of nearby communities and barangays. It is also possible that some are former pets abandoned by students or construction workers who can no longer care for them. Next is uncontrolled breeding. Without proper spaying or neutering, stray populations grow exponentially, perpetuating the cycle. Universities themselves can unintentionally contribute to the issue. Open spaces, leftover food, and a lack of immediate intervention make campuses attractive to strays. Finally, insufficient policy enforcement in surrounding communities plays a significant role. Without stricter regulations or incentives for responsible pet ownership, di matatapos ang problema and may even worsen. Given these, it's clear that the stray animal problem requires urgent and thoughtful solutions considering and addressing both the causes and the impacts. It is also clear that solutions are not simple and there is no one-size-fits-all. Plus, universities can't address this issue alone. It demands collaboration among students, administrators, and surrounding communities. However, for this afternoon, I would like to focus first on these 3 points. 1. The best practices for harmonizing stray animals and campus wildlife. 2. Effective management of strays to reduce wildlife impact. And 3. Advocating animal welfare to the university administrators. For each, we'll focus on the main problem and the possible solutions and strategies we can propose to address them. Let's discuss the issue of stray animals and how they affect existing wildlife on campus. Stray animals can create problems for local ecosystems. They compete with native wildlife for food, shelter, and space, which can harm native animal populations. Strays might also hunt smaller native species, upsetting the ecological balance. This situation presents a challenge. We need to protect biodiversity while also caring for stray animals. To address these issues, universities can start coexistence programs to minimize conflicts and restore ecological balance. One effective approach is to create designated feeding zones for stray animals. These zones can be set up away from sensitive habitats to keep strays from roaming too much. This encourages them to stay in controlled areas. Additionally, universities can provide monitored shelters for stray animals. These shelters can serve as safe spots and help manage their populations. Making changes to the environment is also important to protect vulnerable wildlife from stray threats. For example, creating safe nesting areas can protect breeding native species. This can involve putting up barriers or designing nests that stray cats and dogs cannot reach. Working with ecology experts and wildlife biologists is crucial for these plans. By collaborating, universities can create strategies to manage stray populations without harming native species or interfering with conservation efforts. With a balanced approach that values both animal welfare and ecosystem health, universities can create a place where all species can coexist peacefully, benefiting everyone on campus. To manage stray animal populations and reduce their impact on wildlife, we need to address the main causes of these issues. Stray animals, especially cats and dogs, can harm native wildlife by hunting them and competing for resources. As the number of strays increases, their effect on local ecosystems grows stronger. A key way to solve this problem is to create controlled environments, like designated cat colonies. We can manage these colonies with trap neuter return TNR programs. This process involves humanely trapping stray cats, spaying or neutering them to stop them from breeding, and then returning them to their colonies. This strategy helps lower the stray population over time and reduces their roaming, which in turn lessens their impact on wildlife. Alongside creating safe spaces for strays, it's important to promote responsible pet ownership. We should educate students, faculty, and the community about the importance of neutering pets to avoid unplanned litters that add to the stray population. Awareness campaigns and workshops can show the benefits of taking care of pets properly, which supports both community health and wildlife protection. Additionally, starting humane feeding and healthcare programs can improve the lives of stray animals while reducing their effect on the environment. Volunteer programs can provide regular feeding, veterinary checkups, and vaccinations for strays. These initiatives help keep stray animals healthy and encourage the community to get involved in animal welfare. By offering resources to strays in a controlled way, we can reduce their need to hunt local wildlife for food, leading to a healthier ecosystem. By combining these methods, creating controlled environments, promoting responsible pet ownership, and ensuring humane care, we can effectively manage stray animal populations and protect wildlife from harm. Let's discuss the challenges we face when advocating for animal welfare to university administrators. One major problem is that many administrators focus more on building infrastructure and safety than on animal welfare. They often view stray animals as a nuisance instead of seeing them as important parts of the campus ecosystem. This viewpoint leads them to hesitate to spend money on animal welfare programs. To help change their perspective, we can use a few strategies. First, we should share strong data that shows how welfare programs like trap, neuter, return, TNR, and managed colonies can help. Research indicates that these programs not only improve the health of animals, but also enhance public health by controlling diseases like rabies. Additionally, they can lower long-term costs related to animal control and management, which makes them financially appealing. Along with data, we can present successful case studies from other universities that have similar programs. These examples can illustrate the effectiveness and advantages of humane stray management. We can point to campuses that have seen fewer strays, better community relationships, and increased safety due to these programs.
Gising pa kayo? Sensya na kayo.
Yes po.
Parang kaboses pala ni Sir Francis yung nagamit kong AI na voice. Actually, AI voice eh. So, pasensya na kayo. Medyo hindi ko na napansin na boring yung boses. Pero, very clear siya magsalita and kaya nag-stick ako sa kanya. Anyway, halos kasi lahat nasabi na ni Sir Francis yung kailangan natin i-point out. Uh, just to understand, para lang maintindihan nyo kung saan ako nanggagaling. Hindi kasi ako katulad ni Sir Francis at ng ibang mga advocate. Talaga itong mga action talaga sila. More on intellectual exercise yan. Kaya kami magkaibigan ni Sir Remyo. Lagi kami nag-uusap ng mga kawirduhan. Kasi pareho kaming nerd. Hindi, geek. Hindi, pareho pala. Both nerd and geek kami. So, kaya kami nagkasundo. Pero I think there's value ng tungkol sa pag-usapan yung mga bagay-bagay eh, no? Kasi, of course, yung mga nag-implement, meron silang bagay na nadidiscover nila habang ginagawa nila yung isang bagay. Pero in my conversations with some of them, in my observations, sa nangyayari din sa campus namin dito sa Cavite State University, lumabas ng mga to na yun nga, very critical. Ang una-una, very critical ang role ng university administration. We can only do as much. Pero kung hindi may involve ang administration ng university, kahit may involve lang, kahit wag lang sila maglabas ng pera, kahit payagan lang nila na gawin natin yung mga ginagawa natin, malaking bagay na yun. Tapos, very critical ang education, lalo na ng community. Hindi talaga matatapos yung problem ng strays. Kahit ano pang sabihin natin, kahit ano pa mga theory, ipasok natin dito. Kahit alam na natin yung ng mga scientific na bagay. Pero hanggat hindi na-educate well ang mga tao on how to take care of dogs. Ako nga, sa mga students ko sa welfare, sabi ko, minsan ang pinaka-welfare friendly na practice na pwede nyo gawin is huwag kayo mag-alaga ng kahit anong hayop kung hindi nyo kaya. So, yun yung nun eh. Kung hindi mo kaya mag-alaga, huwag ka mag-alaga. Kasi, ganun eh. Ang mangyayari niyan, lagi may papalusot nila na mahilig sila sa animals, tapos eventually, napapabayaan din naman nila, dumadami, na-abandon nila, hinahayaan nila lalo na ang pusa, actually. Ako, pusa din ang alaga ko. Kaya, isang reason, kahit hindi si Sir Rem, hindi niya aminin, pero one reason kung bakit mas gusto namin ng pusa kaysa sa aso, low maintenance sa pusa eh. Pabayaan mo lang siya, maiwan mo siya actually, makakakain siya eh. Kakain siya ng ibon, joke. Pero totoo, let's admit it. Lalo na yung mga pusa natin pag nakakalabas, tas magaling siya mag-hunt. Kaya nga yun yung isang concern, Yun yung isang concern. Yun yung ibang unique na concern pag pusa yung kikip natin as community animals. Mas malaki yung threat niya sa wildlife kaysa sa dogs. We have to admit it. Ba't ko alam yon? Kasi pusa ako ang galing mag-hunt. So ang dami nating kailangan i-consider, maraming na point out dun sa kung natandaan niyo lahat yung sinabi. We have to consider yung temperament ng mga pusa or yung hunting ability. May mga bagay na hindi natin may iwasang gawin. Halimbawa, meron talagang pusa na sobrang galing mag-hunt. Kailangan natin siya alisin. Yun yung mga hard choices eh. Na as much as we want to keep the cat there, mabait siya, maraming love na love siya, ang galing niya, ang cute-cute niya kasi, pero ubos na yung lahat ng ahas, lahat ng ibon, lahat ng palaka doon sa lugar dahil lang sa kanya. It's something that we should think about. Pwede natin ikulong, pwede natin if totally, ipa-adapt na lang natin kung talaga. Kasi parang ganun din yun. Sa dogs naman, pag sobrang aggressive, talagang inaalis siya doon sa lugar. So ang daming hindi lang siya tulad nga na nabanggit natin sa video, walang one size fits all. Depende rin yun sa community, sa culture. Usually yun yung isang na-neglect din dahil sa yung mga strategies na alam natin, narinig natin, nabasa natin from books na this is how to manage community dogs. minsan nakakalimutan nating aspect is yung community mismo. So sa culture ba ng community na nandun, okay ba sa kanila lahat na nandyan yung mga animals and ano? Kasi pwedeng makaharm yun lalo eh. Yung mga dogs na nandun, natotrauma sila dahil hindi pa lang mahilig sa hayop yung mga tao doon. Di ba? So, ang daming consideration. Hindi kasi naman natin lahat agad makukumbinsin na mahalin yung mga hayop o talagang baka meron lang talaga hindi mahilig. So, ang daming consideration. Lahat yan kailangan ng data. So, yun ang isang nakita ko advantage ng campus, pag ma-manage ng campus community animals, no? Kasi ang campus, ang university campus, academic community yan. So, kailangan na, pwede natin gawing, pwede tayo mag-research. At pwedeng lahat ng gagawin natin ay research-based. Mga pusa yun na nagtatatakbo sa familiar na pamilya, nagkataxi doc si Sir Rem. Ano? Dito kasi sa barangay namin, ang daming pusa. Sa sobrang bait namin, pumapasok na sila sa loob ng, kahit hindi sila sa amin. Gano'n yung mga pusa dito. So anyway, bago pa magulo yung mga sinasabi ko at alam ko, we have time constraints. Tapusin ko na lang doon, and if you have any more clarification, pwede nyo nang ipasok doon sa ating open forum with Sir Francis. Thank you very much sa pag-tolerate nyo nung pinagagawa ko sa presentation at sa pinagsasabi ko ngayon.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alvarez, for that insightful and thought-provoking presentation. You have opened all of us to different perspectives on the realities of strays and what actions or strategies to take in moving forward. Your dedication to advancing animal care and welfare is truly inspiring, and we are incredibly grateful for the time and effort you put into sharing your expertise with us today.
Again, we would like to recognize
Hi
and
everyone,
award
magandang hapon.
Again, we would like to recognize and award our second speaker, Dr. Alvarez, for his time and contribution to this forum. Your discussion certainly enriched our understanding and has surely sparked meaningful questions from our audience. We are truly thankful to have the opportunity to have you as our speaker. Dr. Alvin Alvarez, on behalf of the Perspective team, we are grateful for your time and effort. Please allow me to read the certificate. This certificate is proudly presented to Dr. Alvin William Alvarez in recognition of his outstanding contribution as a guest speaker at Perspective Collaborative Integration and Coexistence of Urban Stakeholders and Stray Animals on November 18, 2024. His insights and expertise have greatly enriched the event and inspired the participants. The organizers STS1 Section THX UP Diliman Extension Program in Pampanga and UP Diliman Extension Program in Pampanga Cultural Committee expressed their heartfelt gratitude for this time and dedication to the success of this forum. Now, we will open the floor to our audience for the open forum. This is your chance to ask questions, share insights, or clarify anything from the discussions by our esteemed speakers.
If you have a question, you may scan the QR code on the screen or you may type in your questions below in the chat box.
Maybe let's give them a 2 minute or 3 minute time to, to make their questions. Do you agree with that, Miss Kisha?
I agree. Let's give them a few minutes.
Okay. So we have gathered a few questions already from during the discussion. So for our question, for our first question for Prof. Aguilar, assuming a TNVR program is in place, what is the ideal size of a clouder so that the home population of cats within the campus can be maintained and not too many unvaccinated outsiders will try to enter the campus anymore?
Hello? Ang hirap
Yes,
gumawa
sir.
ng ano ang hirap gumawa ng generalization for UPLB, for the campus. Pero per building, ito napapansin namin, per building 4 to 6, may 4 to 6 cats per building na name-maintain, name-maintain kami. Hindi 'yun hindi 'yun intentional. Pero that's the size of our clouder per building. So that could be a number that you can use to gauge your cat population. Pero may mga building din kami, may extremes din. May building kami na isa lang yung pusa doon. May building kami, ah, may college kami na may isa lang na pusang dinadayo. So it depends talaga depende dun sa temperament nga ng pusa nung mga members nung clouder depende dun sa incoming cat if if you would also allow incoming cats kasi kapag nakapunyo na sila ah the 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 question would be to let them stay kung nagro-roam around sila or to adopt them kung kung hindi sila palagay doon, kung hindi palagay yung mga existing members ng Clouder doon sa bagong kapung pusa, malamang kailangan ipa-adapt Pero kung nag ah, maayos naman silang pakitunguhan, maayos naman pakitunguhan yung bagong pusa, would you keep them with the other cats? Pero yun sa akin sa amin, we're observing 4 to 6 cats. Yun, I hope that answers the question.
Ayan, thank you sir for that answer. May follow-up here naman po na from the audience na question is, can we talk about safe collars naman? I assume we want cats that make sounds so that wildlife will be warned. But is that enough? And are they safe? What if the collar snag or something like that daw po? Ayan.
So, is it for me? Follow-up question may mga callers na may mga callers na ah, madaling madaling maalis. Parang kapag na-hook halimbawa sa isang branch, madali siyang maalis sa pusa kaya hindi siya makakasakal talaga ng pusa. Pero yun nga yung nadidinig ko nga it's yung bell hindi lang para i-locate yung pusa, kundi para pigilan din siya na mag-hunt. It could lessen the effectivity of the cat. Pero puwede ngang magaling talaga yung pusa kahit na may gano'n na siyang handicap, nakakapag-hunt pa rin siya puwede yun So parang wala yan sa'kin, pero puwedeng sabihin ng pusa yan kung nakakapagsalita yung pusa. Pero puwedeng option, puwede siyang option talaga. Or you can paano ba, you can trim kung hindi feral yung pusa you can trim the cat's nails para hindi siya as effective. Pero hanggang dun na siguro pagdating sa ngipin hindi na kayang parang tama po ba Doc? Parang hindi na siya humane kung binabawasan ba or pinapapurol ba yung ngipin ng mga pusa para maging less effective? Walang gano'ng practice
Ah, wala. Kasi pag ginawa mo rin yun, feeling ko hindi rin siya makakatulong.
Oo.
Makakahuli pa rin at makakahuli sila.
Oo, yun nga Ayun. So yung collar may mga anti may mga easy release na collar tapos meron ding mga yung bells could also be used to some extent.
Okay, thank you for that answer, Prof. Aguilar.
Mm.
All right, we have another question here which Either professors may answer. So the question is, the community of UP Clark includes the indigenous people or IP communities around it. How can we students invite them to join causes like caring for strays?
Pwede ba
How
akong,
can you enjoy yan?
pwede ko ba sagutin yon?
Go ahead, Doc.
Well, hindi, actually yun, medyo related yung sa sinabi ko na, ano, yung culture ng community nandun. Hindi natin sila basta pwedeng invite dahil gusto lang natin sila invite. I think critical dyan is kailangan natin pag-aralan yung culture nila on how they interact with animals in general. Tapos, pwede din natin tingnan how they interact with strays and with cats para lang na malaman din natin kung paano natin ipapasok yung ating, if we want to educate, paano natin ipapasok yung mga concepts na gusto natin ipasok sa kanila. O baka pag nalaman natin, ay hindi natin pala kailangan, mukhang sila ang kailangan mag-educate sa atin kung paano gagawin. Kasi I'm not sure kung I haven't come across any study na gumawa nun. This would be a good thesis topic kung hindi pa siya nagagawa. This could be a good research kung yun nga, unique sa Pampanga na may IP. Kasi dito sa amin, sa campus namin, wala kaming naalalang IP. Talaga wildlife lang. Sa inyo may IP. So maganda siyang consider. Medyo may unique siya. Baka makatulong din siya sa atin sa ibang lugar para sa education sa strays. Magkakaduktong kasi yan. Maganda yung ganyang klaseng research. Yung tungkol sa strays ay kaduktong talaga ng responsible pet ownership and sa advocacy rin natin for rabies control. Yan ang ating magkakaduktong yan. Pag nagawa natin yan ng isa, maraming data na magagamit for those three aspects na ginagawa natin. Yun, ang haba na sagot ko ata.
Okay, thank you, sir. So let us recognize Sir Remy De Leon. He's raising his hands.
Hi. So, hello. So, when we were doing the planning for this workshop, actually, one of the problems that turned up early was we couldn't find a wildlife organization to contact na merong specific merong specific interest in cohabiting with cats. Obviously, yung interest nung two approaches na yon medyo nagda-diverge. You're wondering if you know anyone who has that particular specialization, who might be able to speak about, especially birds. If there's a way to collaborate with someone who specializes in the interaction between cats and other animals that are domestic vis birds.
Local expert ba ang gusto mong malaman, sir? Kasi parang wala. Tama ka, wala. Napaka-specific niya kasi yung interaction. Usually, ang studies lang ay human-animal interaction. And unfortunately, emerging field pa lang siya sa atin, locally. Pero ang daming researches. If you want to, mag-search ka lang na researches, ang daming tungkol sa interaction ng pusa at saka wildlife. Madaming researches na. So I think marami naman tayong insights na makukuha sa mga researches na yun kahit hindi siya local. Kasi pareho lang naman yung behavior ng pusa, pareho din lang yung behavior ng wildlife na concern.
Okay, thank you for those insights, Prof. So for the next question, what has been the biggest challenge you've encountered in your organization that we might also face in UP-DEP as we work to care for our campus animals? There is also a manifestation here from the audience saying that they hope UPDEP will not have an inconsistent approach to campus animals, and sana the UPDEP community can step in and make sure the community can coexist with and benefit from the presence of campus animals. This is a question for Prof. Aguilar.
Mm. Biggest challenge.
Yes
Sa akin
po.
yung biggest challenge would be what happens daily. Kasi araw-araw yung when we started, isang beses lang kaming hindi or dalawang beses lang kaming hindi nagpakain sa mga community animals. So, nung bagyong Paeng yata, yun lang. So, it's a daily thing. Kaya, you need, at nung bagyong Christine, yung bagyong Christine din, isang beses, isang araw. So, dalawang beses lang in 4 years, in more than 4 years. So, kailangan namin ng members, a consistent influx of members kasi syempre may gagraduate kami mga estudyante. So, yun, yung kailangan gawin araw-araw, yun talaga yung malaking challenge. Kasi bukod doon, we have we have to care for animals that go on emergency. Halimbawa, so may nabangga, may biglang biglang nag-manifest ng symptoms ng ganitong sakit na kailangang i-foster. Bukod pa doon sa pag-feed araw-araw. So, yun talaga, you have to have people, you have to be committed. So we have members that are still members kahit na alumni na sila, kahit na because they're here at UPLB, so they're still participating in the caring of for these animals. Kasi yun nga, araw-araw siyang ginagawa eh. So yeah, you have to have people, you have to pull people who are committed to caring for community animals. You have to have yun nga, network para magkaroon kayo ng donation lines and fundraising activities. Maraming paraan maraming pwedeng gawin, and mas doable yung mga iyon kung mas marami kayo. So have people. Ang dami kaya kaya natutuwa din kami kasi ang dami naming nami-meet na hindi pa sila UPLB student. Alam na nila yung cuts of UPLB kaya parang ano, ah, tuwang-tuwa sila nung parang it's a full circle experience sa kanila na nakita ko lang sa pub yung cuts of UPLB. Ngayon pubcom na ako, publicity committee na ako ng cuts of UPLB. So parang it's a full circle thing sa kanila yun kaya nakakatuwa. So ayun nga, may influx naman ng estudyante but we're still establishing it yung kung paano i-handle yung pagdami ng yung pagpasok ng estudyante tsaka how paano ba namin i-delegate or as alumni paano ba namin ibibigay fully sa mga estudyante yung responsibilidad for these lives, these are lives eh. So ayan, the dailiness and the dailiness of what you have to do, that would be the challenge. Ayun.
Thank you, Sir Aguilar. We'll surely take note on that. And Sir Remy, you're recognized.
Yep. Just commenting on that. This is sort of the first activity of the Committee on Animals on Campus, on the faculty and admin side, and of course, we're excited to work on this. So we have our work cut out for us.
Yes, sir.
Definitely, and we're looking forward. Especially, it's nice to see the student council here so that we can work with the student council on various plans. Maybe after the break na dahil sa we have the lantern parade to worry about, but looking forward to the work that we can do for this particular issue. And on animals on Cats of UPLB, by the way. I'm very excited. And I was very glad to know that you were able to work through the pandemic. That was amazing as a story. Na-intrigue lang ako dun sa ano yun, sa part na yun ng tale. So thank you
Oh.
very much for that also.
Parang silver lining siya, sir, if I may add. Parang silver lining siya nung pandemic. Kasi hindi mapapagsama-sama yung mga ano, yung mga taong ayun na ano pala, nagpapakain pala ng mga pusa sa daan. Hindi siya mapagsama-sama kung hindi dahil sa pandemic eh. So kung may silver lining yung pandemic, iyon. So the effort, the organization outlived the pandemic. Kasi parang the problem of strays is it's ano eh, it preceded the pandemic. It's still a problem after the pandemic. So, ayun. We're glad na nagkaroon ng pandemic. Kahit na ano, mahirap sabihin yun ano. Kasi nagkaroon ng Cats of UPLB.
Okay, thank you for that, professors. We'll surely take note on those. Here we have our next question, which is for Dr. Alvarez po. So the question is, how do you educate students about the importance of compassion towards animals? Similarly, how do you engage the school community in animal welfare efforts?
At parang yung mahihirap na tanong papunta sa akin. Hindi, anyway, sa education ay ang anyway, based on studies, pinaka-effective i-educate is yung mga bata sa developmental stages, elementary, high school. Kasi may buo na yung isip ng mga college eh. Hindi ko alam ko parang hindi ito masyado nasasagot yung tanong, pero mas sagot siya sa tanong eh. Katulad ng na-mention ni Sir Francis, hindi mo napapansin, ang problem ng strays ay dati pa eh. Anong hindi nagagawa? Anong hindi nangyayari? 20 years na, 30 years na ang strays, hindi lang siguro. So imagine niyo kung na-educate yung mga bata nung time na yon, elementary pa lang sila na pag nag-alaga ka ng hayop, hindi mo dapat siya pinababayaan dumami and medyo mayroon na siyang impact ngayon. So something na hindi na pagbigyan ng pagtuunan ng pansin siguro dahil hindi pa naman masyadong issue ang welfare dati at sanay pa tayo na nandiyan talaga yung hindi natin nakikita pa as problem ang strays nung unang panahon siguro. Although nung bata ako, black and white pa nung time na yon, hindi pa kita as problem masyado. Para sanay pa tayo na may animals na nagagala. Pero nung dumami ang populasyon siguro, may mga nagbago kasi, definitely. Hindi lang natin ma-pinpoint kung ano. Pero may nagbago, naging problem siya. So, sa mga college kasi medyo mahirap eh. Pero maganda siguro na way na ma-educate is yung mismong i-involve nyo sila ma-involve sila sa mga advocacy. Maging volunteer sila sa mga groups katulad ng Cats of UPLB, lahat pa ng mga groups na pwede. Yun, kasi otherwise hindi sila actually gumawa kami ng research tungkol sa strays. Tinanong namin ang mga tao, students, faculty and employees. Pansin namin, sagot nila sa KAP to, basic KAP. Okay sa kanila, alam nila na kailangan may something na gawin sa strays, sa campus. Tapos talagang yung attitude nila ay favorable din. Pero sa practices para willing ka bang mag-volunteer? Nasa neutral sila talaga hanggang negative. So, yun ang medyo sad. So, hindi namin alam kung anong gagawin, pero ang nakikita namin is ang lumabas sa study is tama, dagdag pa na education. So siguro lahat ng pwede nating gamitin way to educate ay gamitin natin at pag-aralan din natin yung culture ng lugar kasi talagang bawat UP campus nga may iba-ibang culture eh. So tingnan natin kung ano yung effective na way. Tapos yung isang tanong, how do you engage the school community in animal welfare efforts? Well, talagang kakausapin talaga sila, i-involve sila, ah, kung to the extent na makipag MOA or magkaroon talaga ng legal agreement. Kasi ano madali yung, sige okay kami, sali kami, volunteer kami. Pero kasi ang key para ma-solve yung problem ng stray is sustainability. And hindi siya magiging sustainable kung yung commitment ay ano lang, ganun lang
No formal.
kababaw. Oo. Mas maganda kung legal, at least bound sila, mapalitan yung leadership ng community, bound sila, kahit pa paano pwede tayo maningil. Kasi kailangan talaga yun sa ayaw man at sa gusto natin ay clear yung involvement or clear yung commitment ng mga communities dun sa gagawin. So, yun. Tapos by example lang, mukhang kailangan natin talagang mag-set na example sa community. Tapos, although usually ang mga grupo ay mga composed of students and volunteers, and na may iba naman talaga kayong ginagawa. Unang-una, estudyante kayo, dapat nandiyan kayo para mag-aral, hindi para mag-volunteer at mag-alaga ng pusa, di ba? So, yung makakalimutan yun, Pero, ibig sabihin ay kailangan, yung commitment natin, if ang commitment natin ay maging taga-gawa ng, kailangan itodo natin siya. Kung meron tayong task na na-identify, ito ang kaya ko dito, ito yung kaya ko i-manage with my time, ibigay natin yun. And to that example, siguro, ma-identify din natin kung ano yung pwedeng gawin ng community na maitutulong nila sa atin. Kasi mahalaga na ma-involve sila ma-engage sila. Siguro kailangan nila ma-feel na importante sila. Yun, isang way para ma-engage sila. Hindi yung pupunta tayo sa kanila na parang tayo lang tayo ay knight in shining armor na kami nakakaalam na mabuti para sa komunidad niyo, kundi makita nila yung value nila na para ma-solve yung stray problem ng campus at ng community din, ay ma-feel nila na importante yung role nila siguro. Yun siguro ang pwede. Mga naiisip ko lang yan Hindi ko nga sure kung tama yung mga naiisip ko, pero shinare ko lang sa inyo. Nahirap kasi ng tanong.
Thank you, sir. So, okay, Miss Mina, go ahead.
All right, for our last question, it was mentioned that hunter strays should be relocated if the wildlife is endangered. How can we safely relocate strays to another area without them returning? So for this one po,
Oh.
the two of you po can answer.
Hunters.
Sir Francis, ang alam ko doon ay na-experience nyo na ba na gawin yun? Hindi pa, di ba?
Hindi pa Kasi wala
Oo.
kaming sa 50 plus cats na inaalagaan namin ngayon. Wala namang
Super hunters.
great super saiyan hunter na
Oo.
na maraming iniiwang mga dead birds and
Mhm.
lizards wala. Pero
Mm.
kung sakali, keep them indoors. Lalo na kung
Mm.
halimbawa malamang malamang senior cat na yan. Meron na rin siyang posible may mga issues na rin siya. So kapag ginawa mong pet, so indoor pet, you'll solve the problem.
Kasi hindi mo magagawa mag-indoor pets sa campus Kasi community
oo.
cat nga siya, So,
Oo, community cat. Pero
maganda
pero
talaga i-adapt mo na siya. Yun,
i-adapt na
parang-
siya, oo. I-adapt
Mm.
na siya.
Kasi napaka-inhumane na i-cage, pero
Oo.
if it comes to that, in fact,
Kung adaptable din pala, sir. Kasi baka
sa payo-
mamaya feral.
ayoko rin sabihin, pero sa totoo lang, lagi naman option ng euthanasia sa dulo If talagang hindi siya matetrain, hindi siya ma-handle, let's be real about it. Kung talagang yun yung isang option. Pero, more often than not, kapag pusa naman na nanggaling sa dati siyang alaga na, hindi naman dadating sa puntong gano'n. Birang-bira. Kaya kung nga tinanong agad si Sir Francis kung may na-experience sila, ibig sabihin, hindi siya
Wala sa
gano'n ka...
dami.
although,
Oo.
pwede rin nating sabihin sa campus, sa laki ng campus, kinakain naman talaga nila yung kinain nila.
Oo
So
nga.
baka walang trace.
Oo,
Yun
pwedeng
naman ang
ano, no,
problema
pwedeng
nun.
hindi namin
Ah,
siguro ma-monitor lahat ng pusa sa
ah,
campus.
mm.
Posible. Pero ayun nga, we have we have ample sample size naman eh. So far, yun nga, wala namang ganun kagaling na hunter. Kaya dapat regular din yung feeding eh, para hindi sila urged to to hunt for food. Pero alam ko may separate circuitry yung play. Meron talagang mga pusa na talagang hindi naman gutom. Talagang inaano lang nila, mutilate lang nila yung kanilang yung mga natural prey nila. Pero yun, uh, a priority should be to keep the cat well fed. Para yung urge na yon parang it's lessened. Ayun. Sana nakatulong.
Yes po, ayan. Thank you po for those insights, profs. So as much as we want to accommodate all of the audience's questions, we unfortunately have to put an end to this discussion given the time constraints. Thank you to our speakers again for the insightful sessions and for answering the curiosity of our audience. All right, this was a truly an event that should be remembered, not just for the knowledge shared, but also for the meaningful conversations and connections we've fostered today.
Okay, sorry. Indeed, today has been a remarkable journey of learning and collaboration. So to remember this event, we'd like to take a Zoom photo with everyone here.
With that, may we kindly ask everyone to please turn on their cameras for a group photo opportunity?
We call on Miss Francesca to do the honors of capturing our group photo.
Okay, so if you could open your cameras. So yeah, magsuklay-suklay, mag-ayos-ayos. And first of all, habang nag-aayos kayo, our team would like to thank all of you, Dr. Alvarez, Prof. Francis. So despite of yung bagyong Pepito, ayan, yung mga orgs, blockmates, thank you so much for staying, nakaka-touch. Wow, nagdrama. Pero ayun, if you're ready, I'm clicking the screenshot here. So, yan. Okay. In 3, 2, 1. Smile! Ay! Ayan. Habol yung mga cats. Go. In 3, 2, 1. Yan. On the second page naman, smile pa rin in case na hindi kasama sa Yan. Smile! Ayan. Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate it. Sobra. Thank you.
Ayan, alright. Thank you, Miss Francesca, and to everyone. As we bring our forum to a close, we want to extend our heartfelt gratitude to everyone who participated today. Your presence and engagement are what made this event truly impactful.
Today's speakers reminded us of how the interconnectedness of our actions, not just for the welfare of stray animals, but for the preservation of our environment and the well-being of our communities. Their insights were both enlightening and thought-provoking, offering practical steps and ideas to address these challenges.
We've learned that creating inclusive urban spaces is a shared responsibility. By working together, through awareness, advocacy, and action, we can create a balance that respects all forms of life.
Through this forum, we hope that we can all reflect on the meaningful discussions that have shed light on the complexities of managing stray animals and their coexistence with humans and wildlife.
On behalf of Sapang Tibuan, we thank our speakers for their invaluable contributions and to all of you, our audience, for your active participation. Together, we've taken a step toward a more compassionate and sustainable future.
Thank you for being part of this important conversation. Let's carry these insights forward and turn them into a meaningful action. Have a wonderful day and stay safe. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Salamat.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Tabaras
Thank you
and
po.
Sir Francis.
Salamat
Thank you.
Yay! Thank
po,
you,
Thank you,
Sir
Doc.
Sir.
Francis, Sir
Thank
Alvin.
you. Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you, Doc.